Good evening, folks. We are back with more Dark Tide. Joining us as the players, there's a new member of the cast who will get in very shortly. But starting with the normal cast, who are you? Remember, I'm not on Halloween now. Who are you? Who are you playing? And to celebrate Halloween, which is tomorrow, what is your favourite either Halloween costume or thing? Starting with, let's start with Tom.
Who am I?
Who are you?
It's me. It's me, Tom. I sometimes am on these things and play games as well. My character is Victor Overhill. He is a bard. He's looking to strike it big in the city, and he's growing increasingly upset at the various murders that are happening all around him. Favorite Halloween has got to be the traditional sheet with 2 holes cut in for eyes.
Fair. All right. Next is Mr. Eden. You're muted, Eden.
Still muted.
There we go. Good time for technical problems. Not even muted, just my microphone playing up as usual. I'm Eden. My character is Wraith. He's a Tevinter mage come mortician. And my favourite Halloween costume, I think, is a freaky clown, because it actually does freak people out, unlike a lot of Halloween costumes, and I've done it a couple of times. It's always fun seeing the reactions.
That's fair. All right. Next we have Rowan.
Hello, I am Rowan, and I am playing Juniper, a little cat creature thing. Lots of knives and a penchant for biting and murdering and causing general chaos. And here at Halloween thing is all of it. I love all of it, every single aspect of Halloween. Give me more spooky season. Fuck Christmas, I hate Christmas. Please, more Halloween.
All pumpkin everything.
Pumpkins, all the incense I can burn, make it spooky, things I can buy to actually decorate the house that I just use all year round because fuck it, they look good. And I have a black cat as well, who is also Juniper. Juniper is my cat.
Alright, and finally, making his Dark Tide debut in the corner just over there is Mr. Helking.
Hello, I'm Helking. You can call me Daniel if you'd prefer. I'm currently playing Fergus the Fabricant, who is a big bard barbarian. Literally big bard if he was a falcon, and had a hammer to slam into people's heads.
Alright.
My favorite Halloween thing, ghosts. Just ghosts in general. There's so many types of them, and I love all the shenanigans they get up to. There needs to be more ghost things.
Have you seen a real ghost?
Have I?
It sounds like the wind up to a joke.
Have you seen a real ghost? Yeah, your mother last night. Sorry.
Your father when he left for cigarettes 20 years ago.
So that's my debut thing. Okay. Yeah, ghosts, basically. I was just run down for a moment. I'll be right back up real quick.
Yep, no problem. Alright. So, as I'm sure the remaining cast will tell you, what happened last time?
What did happen last time?
Been a minute and I'm knackered, so I can't even think straight to think of what it was.
It was the one before that was the bees, I think. And then we got out of there, and we found a village. There was a load of people who were like, "Oh, the wizard would never let this happen." I can't remember what happened after that.
You know that way when you go, what happened last time? Oh yeah, it was this, and then your mind goes completely blank when you come back to try and remember it again.
Mm-hmm.
And then someone says something like, "Oh, you changed into an ostrich," and you're like, "Oh yeah."
Yeah.
I think I missed that episode though, so I honestly don't have a clue.
Yeah, I've all I remember from last week's episode is you befriended a simpleton called Manny, and you were going to find Father Benjamin. But I can't for the life of me remember why.
Yeah, we found like a bunch of blood ritual or something, and so they tried to recruit. No, we pretended we wanted to be recruited, and then like did a classic Dark Tide and just killed them and ran.
You know,
I think.
what you do.
Right. Well,
God.
we will go somewhere from there. We'll take it and try and run with it best we can. So yes, we will we'll go from that.
We still don't really know where we're going anyway.
Ooh.
We're just sort of following the roads until eventually we hopefully run into some actual Grey Wardens who can be like, "What the hell are you? Where have you guys been? We've been waiting here for 3 months already. Jeez."
Basically.
All right. So you were on. I think I remember right. You were following a river. Towards the direction that Father Benjamin apparently was. So I'll just have you continuing following the river. There's no AJ this week. No AJ. It's alright. There's no Amy this week because she's just needing a week off. So yeah, she'll be back. She'll be back next week. So yeah. Anyway, let's carry on. So yes, you follow the river as a group, and as you move further along, you see a encampment ahead of you. It seems to be. You can already hear the sound of it's like group singing. It's slightly more in tune than you'd expect. The sort of wooden tree walls all the way around. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna approach? Are you gonna sneak round? What are you gonna do?
We don't have our lore master yet either.
And we don't have our one person who actually knows Dragony.
Are we close enough to get any glimpse of what's up ahead?
Oh, you can see that there's, as I said, this kind of like palisade walls, and the camp is really close to the river. You see a good couple of people coming in and out, and some of them are doing fishing, some of them are doing washing clothes in the water and stuff like that. But most of the camp inside seem to be singing along together.
Do I recognise the singing?
Do me do a music check. You've got a -3 to music check because someone in chat did a -3.
Bloody chat. Is it dot roll?
God damn it, chat.
It's /roll and then the little thing should pop up and you can fit it.
Roll. Message D20.
So majestic.
And that would be awareness at -3. So actually it's just a straight D20.
Okay. 13. So you recognise the song vaguely as being a sort of it's one of the Chantry's most simple of songs. It's basically the equivalent of Kumbaya, but it's more boring and more drawn out.
Right, okay. That takes some doing, doesn't it? I relay the information to my associates.
Bit of a dodge. Well, I suppose at least there's signs of life up ahead. We should probably give them a warning about what's behind us.
Mm.
Shall we move up into the camp?
Sure. Don't see why not.
Alright. So as you move towards, you see a very half-interested guard sort of walk over and looks at all the rest of you and just kind of gives you a kind of like, are you meant to be here? Look in his face. Have anything you want to do, or are you just gonna ignore him? Or?
I'm gonna step up and say, "We're here for the carnival."
Yeah, carnival. What carnival?
I'm going to look at him sort of bemused, and turn to my friends and say, "Does he not know who we are?"
Well, clearly not.
Should I?
We're the best circus act in town. And do jazz hands.
That's technically not a lie.
Right. Yeah. Please, on you go. He just waves you in.
I'm going to make a show of tipping him a coin, and with a very exaggerated wink at, let's say, Juniper, say, "Always tip the doorman."
He stares at the coin in his hand and goes, What do I do with this?
"Oh, that's for you, dear sir." I'm going to leave it at that and just walk past without waiting for a response.
Can I knock something off the cart and shout the word tip, tip, over and over again?
Sure. Oh, are you bringing your character here, by the way, or are you on foot?
I can't remember.
No, this is preference. Just so I know.
Do we have a horse?
Yes.
So we have
Is it a?
It does.
You have
Is
a
it
horse that
actually
does
a
not.
horse though?
You have a horse that is not Juniper for once. Yes.
Okay, and it's not the one with the flesh peeling off it.
No.
Nor the, and it's not the
actually,
bone
is
horse
it?
either.
Is it the undead
Yeah.
horse? I can't remember. I think it
Because
might be.
we had two horses, one of which was Juniper.
tried to unmagic the dead horse and it didn't work. I vaguely remember that.
Yeah, it just sort of sat there and nothing happened to it.
I just kind of
It's
love how
flesh.
we start episodes and then halfway through the episode go, wait, I remember what we were doing.
It's all coming back. Yes, we did have the skeletal horse towing the cart, didn't we?
Yeah, that's why the god didn't argue anything. It was just like, yeah, mate, I'm not messing.
I'm not arguing with it. They're crazy.
Yeah, they got skeleton horse. What the hell?
They got a horse with all its muscles showing. Ugh.
And a cat horse sometimes when you need it.
That's probably
The cat horse.
the spooky bit.
The horrible, horrible cat horse.
Mm-hmm. All right. So you wander inside. The guard is still confused at the coin that Victor gave him. But once you've got inside, you can hear the singing coming from a massive tent in the middle. All around you are smaller tents. Some of them are like cooking tents, and some of them are like sort of sleeping areas, and so on. Is there anywhere you particularly want to go and explore, or do you just want to sort of wander around to see what you find?
Is there any indication? Sorry. Is there any indication of a structure that might be belonging to the Grey Wardens anywhere nearby? Wraith is definitely looking for some sign of like the authority, because it's been a little while since we've kind of run into anybody.
You look around. There's nothing Grey Warden-y. There's a blacksmith tent. And as you go over to look at that, you see the man in the blacksmith tent is surprisingly thin, but seems to craft swords relatively well. But there's no, apart from the blacksmith, there doesn't seem to be any immediate signs of weapons or aggression. Everyone seems to be quite.
Knives?
No, he's not selling knives. He's mostly seems to be making farming equipment, but he has made a couple of swords.
Not worth the effort.
Well, it doesn't look like these people are very well prepared for what might come their way. We should probably get around and warn them. Tide of Darkspawn pretty much behind us.
Yeah, maybe we should do something about that.
Well,
How bad could it be?
Will they believe us is the real question here. Let's be honest, Ole doesn't exactly have the best reputation for smart people.
Yeah, everywhere we go, frankly, has got a terrible reputation for people who have zero brains.
well, we can only hope this time we're a little bit luckier. I suppose we should probably find the person leading that congregation of singers. I've got to assume that maybe that's whoever's in charge around here. Maybe the leader of the faith or something.
Seems reasonable.
At this point, you walk past one of the cooking tents, and something catches your eye, and you sort of look around the tent a little bit, and you see in a cage behind one of the cooking tents is this massive, fluffy creature that seems to be about 9 foot tall in this small cage.
Wraith rubs his eyes, wondering if he's hallucinating a little bit, but taking in aspects of this thing in its familiar fluffiness, let's say.
Fergus, like, tilts his head at a 90-degree angle and stares back with his unblinking eyes.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, it's another one of those things. Although this
Juniper
one...
does
That's a
the
bit
arched
rude, isn't
back-
it?
Oh, sorry, I didn't realize you could hear me. Oh,
Oh, it's because I don't have ears now, is it?
oh. Wraith looks around at the rest of the group a little bit flustered. He's had interactions with the Fabricant, and at least this one has legs, and you can see where it's standing. Like, it's not going to disappear behind something and reappear somewhere else, hopefully.
Juniper springs about 4 feet into the air, lands on all fours with her back arched, and hisses.
And me, you damn Tama. I'll bludgeon you. Sorry, that was a little rude. I'm under a lot of stress.
Looking around, is there anybody keeping this cage? Or is it just kind of off to the side?
It just seems to be off to the
Oh, no, I
side.
walked pretty on myself.
It seems to be off to the side. You do notice occasionally one of the people from the cooking have come out, seem to stop and then give a very wide berth to the cage, as if they're slightly scared about getting close to it.
I mean, I'm not sure I blame them.
Juniper looks around at the hapless, calm crowd and decides chaos is needed and goes forward to unlock the cage.
Oh, you really shouldn't do that. He tells you that as you come
reaching
up
towards the lock, like,
You really shouldn't.
So, yeah, Juniper, roll lockpicking. Sure, we have lockpicking
Okay.
as a skill, don't we?
I think so. Let me take a look. Yes, I have a +5.
Yes.
How do I do this again?
Slash roll, and then the little dice ball will pop up, and like you're tagging someone, you just click on it and then roll. And click on it and then put d20 in. +5.
Slash roll d20 +5.
Yep.
15.
15. Yes, you sort of wiggle your finger in the lock, there's a loud click, and the padlock pops open.
Fergus, like, takes a deep breath, like... Well, it was a good quiet 20 minutes. He stands up to his full height and, like, breaks through the door with his hammer. It's like, and just, like, runs into the most crowded area he can.
Okay.
Oh, jeez.
So you've now just watched this gigantic brown and gold coloured Fabricant, who's about, as I said, about 9 foot tall and maybe about, let's say, 4 foot across, just with this long ostrich neck, just sprinting off into the congregation.
Wraith is a little bit aghast and mouth slack-jawed, I suppose. Is, why did you do that, Juniper? We don't know anything about it. Those Fabricant things, we don't know what its agenda might be.
It's a show!
Well, I suppose it is now.
Circus act! Circus! Circus!
The abrupt, calm singing stops, and then there's a very sort of strange, just total silence, and you just look, as you're looking over, you just see people begin to back out of the tent very slowly.
Yeah, I wonder why.
Oh, yeah. Fergus is just, like, rolls up all his feathers and just, he's, like, ushering them out.
Jesus. He's a spooky boy.
He's a spooky boy. He's like a 9 foot tall hermapod.
Can I nick, like, a skewer of meat out of the tent and just sit there watching the show, having a snack?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You as you're watching this, you see the at the front of all the singers, there was a man in a sort of very simple brown robe with a typical like friar haircut, the sort of circle of hair, the bald spot in the middle. He sort of quite quietly just climbs down from the podium and just walks over to Knucklebeak, I think your character was called, and just goes, my child, you seem anxious. Are you distressed?
I'm a little off lately, I'm not gonna lie.
Well, you come with me. And he just gently puts his arm around you, just very, very softly, very nicely spoken, just slowly just walks you towards the back out of the tent. And everyone else just sees this small monk man just put his arm around this small bird and is slowly walking him back outside.
Yeah, you have to like handle him with kid gloves. You try being aggressive at all, it's not going to end well. So he's just kind of going along with it.
He's like, my child, do you not like your abode? And he gestures towards the cage that you were in. Are you not happy in your small apartment?
He like brings the mallet down on like the floor and like leans on it like. I think it's about time I hit the road soon.
I see. You need to experience the world. Well, I have appreciated your loyalty to me over the while that we have been together. But I see that is no time. Well, he just gestures. He looks around and then seems to notice your cart. All of him goes, this cart here seems to be loaded and ready to go. I imagine you could take this and go off on a wonderful adventure.
That's a good idea. If I stay around here, I'm liable to choke. Or choke somebody. You guys have been wonderful. But I think I should go somewhere where choking is much more appreciated.
I see. I totally understand, my child. Well, off you go then. Just get on this cart and take it away.
He just gives a small bag of gold that he gathered from the little miscellaneous shop. This is for the damages, or what I can cover.
You are blessed, my son. I totally understand. He just takes the bag of gold and sort of somehow manages to secrete it on his person and goes, right, well, on you go, take the cart. So, what are the other three of you doing as this giant fabricant is being offered your cart?
Seeing gestures towards our cart and everything, Wraith has walked over to it and is kind of protectively stroking the skeletal horse's head a little bit and kind of going, don't worry, everything will be okay, we won't let him do anything to you.
In my head, I'm thinking...
Oh, sorry.
In my head, I'm thinking, hey, if this, we got a cat person, we got a thing, we've got a skeleton horse, maybe we could make an actual circus, bona fide circus out of this. We have the, what was they called? You had, the tattooed lady and stuff.
What, the freak show?
Maybe. No, was it that? Maybe I'm thinking something else. Anyway, skeleton horse. Pretty cool. Person who can jump on all fours, like 2 meters straight up into the air. Pretty cool.
Juniper has gotten bored and is doing cartwheels.
Who looks
See what I mean?
like the leader or the person leading this party, so to speak?
Probably our lawyer.
Yeah. So that's probably Wraithen.
Yeah.
He stomps up to you then, and he looms over you. You have to crane your head back as he cranes his head, basically staring down at you. Hi.
Oh, hello. And
I'm Fergus. Fergus the Falcon.
Oh, pleasure to meet you, Fergus. And he nervously holds out a hand.
His entire hand is like a wing. So he wraps it around you and just chucks your hand up and down.
You hear a variety of pops and clicks. I probably should have explained it, but Wraith is he looks a bit like Lurch and is made of skin and bones and pops and clicks every time he moves. So yeah, he's kind of his arm is flailing as you're waving it around. Oh, a pleasure to make your acquaintance. What was that man telling you there? You seem to be taking an interest in our cart.
Oh, we're friends now.
We are? And
Yes.
he looks around towards Victor
and I, Fergus and friends. And then he just like pats your shoulder, and then he just climbs onto the cart.
Well, okay. Is everybody else on board with this? I suppose we need another person and part of our group. It wouldn't hurt to have more defenders, but... Are you familiar with the Grey Wardens at all, Fergus?
Nope.
No? Oh, well, in fairness, that might be a good thing. I'm not quite sure that we're living up to their standards at this point, but...
Oh, don't worry. We're all failures. It just depends on how much you all have won.
Yeah, fair point. Well, we've survived this far, at least. Well, I have, and he looks around at the group. And
Somewhere from deep inside the cart, you hear Ruth just snoring, and you're just imagining how you're going to have to explain this.
Thus proceeds to squawk like, ah! Just screams more than anything.
Oh, shh. Our friend is sleeping under the tub, then.
Oh, sorry, that happens sometimes. I can't help it. It just comes and goes when I think about my place in the walls. Ah!
You'll have to excuse me asking, but how did you come to be in this place?
Oh, there's this wonderful girl back in my hometown. I call it hometown, the place where home is. And she wished me alive, as I was a performing piece for the local Bards Guild. Ooh. She brought me alive with friendship. And for that, I have regretted the last 23 years of living.
Never heard the likes of that magic. Wished you alive? And he starts scribbling a few notes down, kind of in a scholarly fashion.
Yes.
Can be wished alive.
Yeah, she does that kind of thing. She moved out a while ago, and I just stayed around until I couldn't anymore. I broke the butcher's jaw one time. So that seemed like a sign that I should get a move on.
Juniper is going to pat your arm and go, "Don't worry, I'm a mistake too."
Oh. Oof.
I'm not sure if fabricants can like cry, but if they can, like there's no tear in his eye. He goes like, "Yeah, we all are. Life was a mistake."
Well, I think we can all empathize with having committed an act and having to move on rather rapidly, so it might well be that you'll fit in with the group better than expected.
Yeah, I bet we can. I'm going to look pointedly at Wraith.
Wraith winces a little bit because he certainly feels like he's fallen a long way from where he started.
Your body count is nowhere near my level. The issue is Juniper didn't sink any lower.
Oh, it's great that we're bonding so much. By the way, how attached are you to your teeth?
Oh, quite.
Ah! That might change in the near future, and I apologize ahead of time.
Oh, and Wraith steps back away. Says, well, I shan't be giving up any teeth willingly.
Oh, having no teeth is just fine. Look at me. I've never had teeth.
Good for biting.
Do you even eat so? How do fabricant... You'll have to excuse me. We've run into a few of your kind before, but how do you actually survive?
Oh, he brings open like a bag full and pulls out a bunch of fangs and molars in his hands, and he that seems to do it for me.
With these recognizably human teeth, with Wraith having his specialty, did he immediately recognize
I think you could recognize that they were a bag of various different races' teeth, but they were definitely humanoid. Yes.
The business of bashing like me, you'll find that everybody seems to just leave them lying around afterwards. And like, I am not a wasteful person. I believe in recycling.
Well, that's fair.
It is fair, and honestly, you should invest in that. Like, it is our one world that we have, and you need to make sure you invest in these things. Otherwise, others will be subsumed in the waste of teeth that I eat.
I'm getting more and more concerned over time about this new addition to the party. And like that's saying something, because I was pretty concerned about the state of the party before.
The before time when things weren't as bad as they are now.
Before Vargas.
Yep.
BF.
And as you all kind of are talking in the cart, the guard walks up to you that you sort of gave the coin to, and he goes, I don't understand. What is this? And he holds the coin up to Victor.
It's a shiny, obviously. Look, the light comes down and it bounces off it. It looks nice.
Pretty.
Do you
that will
not
get-
want shiny? Would you rather perhaps an interesting rock or a
Oh,
piece of leaf?
I mean, if you've got a nice rock's wonderful. I'd love a nice rock.
I'm going to have a quick look around for a nice rock. What am I rolling? Just flat
awareness?
D20 or
Awareness?
awareness? Oh, and it's a new thing. It's slash roll D20 plus. Oh.
You look
don't find
around,
any
you
nice
can't seem to find one. And as
nice rocks.
you're doing, excuse me a moment, the guard walks into the crowd are slowly sort of moving back into the tent now Fergus is gone. Though the man in the sort of brown robes seems to be standing outside of it. The guard walks up and shows him the coin, and the man looks quite confused and he gestures towards you. Sorry, the guard gestures towards your cart, and the man walks over and goes, "Hello, I am Father Benjamin. What is going on here? What are you doing giving my people this?" And he holds the coin up to you.
I say, well, it's a nice shiny thing.
We do not have any
Light comes
use.
off.
We have no use for coins here.
What is a coin?
This is a coin. He holds up the
It
coin in
is?
his fingers and he goes, "This causes problems. This causes greed. This causes all the problems in the world. We cannot take this." And he puts it back in your hand.
Oh, I see. Perhaps a nice rock or a piece of leaf.
We are not simpletons. We just do not appreciate any kind of capitalistic wealth in this village.
She's a very forward thinker.
I'm gonna look, do a sort of exaggerated confusion as I look to Wraith and say, what's capitalistic wealth?
Well, I mean, it's a system of barter and trade. People exchange coin in order to get goods that they otherwise wouldn't be able to trade for whatever they create. But, well, that begs questions, and he turns towards the friar, let's call it. Says, so is this... How do you exist as a society? Do you not trade with local villages? Do you not take coin from them for your goods?
Everyone is looked after as long as they provide the song.
The song?
Yes, I mean, if you wish to indulge our customs, you should come and indulge in this song.
Is that what we were singing just before our, our new friend here interrupted?
Yes, it is. Unfortunately, as beautiful as the plumage on Fergus is, he is not. He does not have the singing voice of the
I
beautiful.
used to sing, but I don't think anyone over the age of 10 exactly likes my songs anymore.
What are you saying, Ron?
Isn't the song what the Darkspawn worship? I vaguely remember this.
There is a song that people hear when they're corrupted by Darkspawn. Yes. The song
Rowan
people
has
can hear.
suspicion.
But,
Song is sus.
Is there anything to indicate, like, a structure to this, like symbols on any of the tents? Is anybody wearing like similar garb, like cult type stuff, or is this a seemingly normal kind of village?
everything seems pretty straightforward. Everything seems very humble in its surroundings.
No, returning to the fry then. We did hear that song, and well, it sounded like it was quite a low-key affair. What do you worship, might I ask? What's the purpose of this song?
It regenerates us all. Come with me. And he gently just leads you into the tent
I'll
where...
sit in the carts. I don't think I'm welcome quite yet.
Wraith is being led off, looking towards the others. Is anybody else coming with him, or is he kind of...
Yeah, I'll go with.
Okie doke.
Right.
Relieved then. Oh yes, we'll hear your song. I don't know that my singing voice is up to scratch, but I'll certainly, I'll listen at the very least.
You notice everyone is singing, and as you walk into the tent, you see hanging from the middle of the top of the tent like a chandelier this strange, deep, like light blue crystal. And the more singing, the more this kind of like almost vapor-like stuff is moving towards it from all the people singing.
Is there any immediate magical presence approaching this? Does it feel like there's something to it? Okay. Wraith stops then as soon as he can feel it and puts a hand out to sort of stop Victor as well. Oh, hold on. Looking up at the crystal. Well, is that part of this song? Where did you get that?
He looks up to it and goes, that is the gem that powers us all. It brings us power and protection. The car goes by.
For a second, I thought something was charging up. And then he would just be...
So he looks and goes, if you join in the song, your essence will join them, and you will join us all in a beautiful afterlife with the Maker.
Oh, I'm gonna say, oh, religion. Just like,
Sorry, I just wasn't ready.
In the most diplomatic way that he can, Wraith kind of says to the guy, well, I'll be honest with you, sir. I'm not of these lands, and I do have my own faith, and I would feel it was remiss to join in bad faith. But it's an interesting song, and listening to this, like, what are the words to this? Is there is there a tone to what they're singing about?
As I said, it's kind of a sort of more boring, drawn-out kumbaya. It's very kind of style thing, and you notice when you look around at the people singing, the ones that stand near the front look almost skeletal. It's like their features have withered away, and they've got a slight glow around their general face as this sort of, as I said, this almost vapor is coming off them and going up to this gem.
Seeing that, then
that's religion.
Gesturing towards these people, you say the song restores, but the people here, they don't look well at all.
Their earthly vessel is granting them the travel towards the Maker's side.
I see. And leaning down to quietly, conspiratorially, and quite obviously talk to Victor, he kind of whispers and goes, I have a feeling that this is not what it may seem, but it may be an aspect of corruption. It's a good thing that Juniper and our new friend are back on the cart over there. We may need to do something and get out of here.
By the way, sorry, question. So, who's this Ruth in the wagon, since I'm new here?
It will be Amy, who's not here this week.
I gotcha.
And for context, you should probably know that we've been carting around a bathtub, a rather fancy bathtub, which mostly whenever somebody's not here for a week, they're ostensibly sleeping under the bathtub.
It's turned
I
upside
climb
down.
into the bathtub.
Oh, it's upturned.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
fair enough.
the cart they have at the moment is relatively fancy, but does have a bathtub upside down on the top, which is basically where people seem to like to sleep for some reason. But it keeps them
Well,
protected for a
mostly
week,
because-
so
It's
Seems like you
because
get credit for that.
it's pretty solid on account of how fancy it is. So that's why it's usually fairly safe under there.
it was
You're
one
just
of the
loading
first things they stole.
Bathtub. You stole a porcelain bathtub.
They stole a porcelain bathtub very early on, yes.
It's not just porcelain though. It's got intricate metal work and it's got a couple
You
of
drag it out.
semi. Yeah.
Yep.
Eventually, it took a lot of effort.
Did you kill everyone inside, and that's how you?
No, there was no one in the house. They decided that they needed
There
to
was no one in the
steal
bathtub.
steal the entire bathtub.
There wasn't anyone in the bathtub when we
Okay.
stole that.
Sorry for
At this point
interrupting.
now, it's mostly used for depositing people who aren't there for their episode. They just get put in the bathtub for the day.
That's right. Okay, sorry for interrupting. Go ahead.
No, it's fine. It's one of those weird lore things we probably should explain. Anyway, carry on.
Turning back to the friar race, smiles a toothy, forced grin and says, "Oh, well, it's a very nice song and all, and it looks like it's doing your people a world of good. But, well, our group, we're Grey Wardens," and he shows his wrist brand and says, "We're actually on business. We're passing through, really. And I suppose if there's no urgent danger here,
You
then we should probably keep on our way."
are Grey Wardens? Tell me, what is your policy on the Fade?
Fade? Oh, well, it's the source of all magic. I'm rather familiar with it.
But if we wanted to become one with the Fade, you would not have any objections, would you?
Well, I don't. Why would you want to do that? I mean, you're allowed to, I guess, but it's a bit weird. It's a bit of a strange thing you're talking about there, buddy.
Yes, becoming one with the Fade. I mean, in my experience and knowledge, that would mean becoming demonic.
It is not demonic. No, they make arrests for us in the Fade. It is not demonic, no.
Oh, well, that's all right then.
He turned round and a couple people have stopped singing and are looking quite confused. And he goes, carry on. Do not stop this song. Carry on. Sing. And they go back to singing rather confusedly. Whereas, in the corner, you see someone drop to their knees and stop singing. Their face is almost completely skeletal. Their eyes are completely sucked back in their head. And he goes, it is time. He walks over, puts his arm around the one that's fallen and says, "You will be taken care of." And gestures to two men at the side who walk in, pick up the almost bag of bones of this person, take them to a back room.
Yikes.
Leaning in again to Victor, Wraith is going to say, "I don't want to alarm you or anything, but this is a rather dangerous practice they seem to be engaging in here. There are all kinds of things in the Fade that will take a person's body for their own means, and none of them are good."
Yeah, no kidding. Let's get out of here. Mark it on the map and tell the Grey Wardens to come back later or something.
Well, we should probably do something to stop the spread of this before we go. Perhaps we should gather the rest of the group quickly and... Well, I've always got the old trusty fireball. As long as you all stand back, of course.
I've seen how you guys operate. Get out of here. Call in the Grey Wardens. They'll deal with it.
We aren't initiated yet either.
I like the idea that I haven't quite worked out that you guys are just completely lost. Because you are, let's be honest.
Are there any children in this particular group?
None you can
Probably.
see, no.
No.
They seem to all be
so
adults.
wouldn't have been enraged by anything.
As far as you can tell, it seems to be all adults. There are some sort of teenage people, but no actual, young children.
Teenagers. They might as well be spawns of the devil themselves.
Well, let's quickly get away from this place while that friar is distracted and get back to the cart, and let's see what everybody else thinks.
Yeah.
All right.
I will back out as slightly as possible from the tent, trying not to draw attention.
Okay. So you back your way out and back off to the tent. As you get back to the cart, Juniper is sitting, staring quite confusedly at Fergus, as in trying to work out exactly what they are.
When he stares back, he doesn't blink.
Neither is Juniper.
So
It's just blown, pitch black pupils, you know.
he doesn't have eyelids. You're going to lose.
At this point, I don't think Juniper does either.
I mean, ostensibly,
Doing the
cats and
void
birds don't
face.
get along.
As you guys like come up to them as they're staring at each other, he goes like, "Good talk, good talk."
All right.
Oh, hey guys!
Oh, hello there, Fergus. Did you ever partake in this song? We've just been learning about what's happening in that tent there, and I don't want to alarm everybody, but it sounds like there's something rather amiss with their faith.
I tried to sing with them. Yeah, I tried to go. Like, I've done choir before. Like, I am always open to new experiences. Vargas the Falcon. And then I coughed up like 20 pounds of black bile, and then I just stopped.
Oh. Well, yes, that would make anyone stop in their tracks.
Yeah, I swallowed it afterwards not to make a mess.
Ew. Well, it's rather polite of you in the circumstances, I suppose. Well,
Should I actually roll for resisting magic?
Not at the moment, no.
All right.
they've got some sort of gem in there, and I would believe that maybe beasts of the Fade are taking these people. One of them just got taken out back. I suppose we could probably... I don't know, Victor, you seem quite intent on moving on, but we could have a look and see. I
could
really
just
wouldn't
nick
like
the
to leave
thing
these
that they are
people to their own
worshipping
devices.
with. I could just nick the gem,
You did steal a bathtub.
and then
I
we
suppose.
go.
I'm not sure we want that thing coming with us. It seemed to be draining the life out of these people, or some sort of essence.
Oh, one sec.
Oh,
Why is
it
my...
sounds like you have a case of parasitic relationships. It's a very serious topic, kids. And sorry, I've slipped into a mode recently. Yeah, sorry. What were we talking about?
Magical ongoings, unusual things.
Well, might as well check up on the guy. You said he was in the back.
Yes, they took this one man who seemed to be just fading away, like draining away before us, becoming gaunt and looking rather unwell. He was being taken out back by two of them, and the friar said it was time for something. I dread to think what time it might be.
Right then. Sounds like a job for Fergus the Falcon. And then he just like stands up and steps off the wagon, and like he like wraps his arm around you. It goes like onwards.
Oh,
It's like as you go along.
okay. And looking back with a little bit of panic in his eyes towards Juniper and Victor. I guess we'll check out on that man and we'll be right back.
He lightly punches you in the face.
Oh,
Oh, sorry.
as best he can, I'd like Wraith to try and muscle away just a little bit to get the grip from off the shoulder, because now he's worrying about his teeth.
All right. So the two of you kind of edge your way around the side of the tent, and you see there's a sort of smaller tent behind the big tent. And as you sort of peek from the corner of the smaller tent, you see this poor, weak man who's lying on a bed. He's breathing. His breathing is very laboured, and you see the friar come in and goes, "You have your mortal vessel has been expended, my friend. May you be at peace." And he pulls out what looks like a very large ruined dagger, and just literally just slices the man's throat. There's a sort of light coughing of blood, and then silence, and he goes, "The body is finished. Take it to the kitchens."
Am I there, and have I noticed the dagger?
You have followed Fergus and Wraith, and you have noticed this very shiny. It's like a gold-handled. All the blade down is ruined all the way down. It looks very, very shiny.
Fargus, by the way, sees that. He goes, "Lucky bastards." Just like.
Has he by any chance put the dagger down?
No, he seems to have just slid it inside his ropes again.
Okay.
Are the runes in any way familiar to Race?
You immediately get a sense of this can't be good.
I think I was already there.
I'd like to point out someone's throat was just slit. What do you think? How? In what world would that be good?
It's probably how.
I mean, I would want my throat
something.
slit.
Are there any buckets of water around? If not, can I find a bucket, fill it with water, find somewhere high up, and tip it on the guy?
Mm-hmm. On the friar?
Yes.
Okay.
So,
As he walks out, the two guards go in to move this body, and they start carrying the body. The friar, he seems to stand outside of the main tent, and he seems to light up some kind of like a roll-up cigarette. And as he does so, this massive bucket of water just gets poured over the top of him. He just seems to stop and just stare at his sort of soaking wet hands and an extinguished cigarette, and then starts turning around to look where it came from.
I'm hiding and hoping he'll go and get changed somewhere, and then I can cause a distraction and nick the dagger. That's what I'm planning.
but this is all like without us. You just did it yourself.
Yep. Get used to that.
Fair enough. Okay, so
I guess we're a few feet away watching this occur as we were approaching the tent. You've kind of rushed out ahead of us.
You're far enough away that when he stops and looks around, he looks over to you and goes, "Could it have been them?" No, they're far enough away, and he recognizes Fergus and goes, "Fergus is not stealthy at all. I don't think he could have been it."
actually, he has stealth as a skill, so it's possible.
So
yes.
he sort of shakes his robes a little bit that are drenched through. He mutters something to himself and seems to storm off towards a tent at the back corner of the camp.
I am stealthily following, and is it just a regular tent, I'm guessing?
Eventually he does go into a tent. As you sort of look inside, it does seem quite fancy. It does have almost 3 entrance flaps. So he pulls the first one aside and walks inside, and you hear the sound of another one and then another one opening.
Okay.
So it seems like he's got at least a couple of degrees of privacy compared to a lot of other tents.
Is it relatively shadowy in there?
You sort of glance, you sort of go prone and look underneath the thing. It seems quite dark inside, though you see what looks like maybe like a candle being lit inside, because just enough light. It's just a slight small light just coming out from within the inside of the tent.
Can I very carefully slip inside?
Yes. Are you wanting just to go underneath one of the sides of the tent? Do you want to go through the door? What do you want to do?
Just kind of slip in through the door and kind of,
Okay.
ghost cat style.
So
Shadow Panther.
You slide in through the door of the tent. Immediately when you get inside, you see the only things really in the room is the friar himself, who has removed his robes and is in the process of retrieving dry robes from what looks like some sort of giant tea chest. There's a single candle in the middle of the room. Next to it is a gigantic mirror with runes all the way around it. and there behind him is a small. It's not like an altar, but it's like a small stand where the dagger you just saw him use has been set upon.
Is he facing that table?
No, he is facing the tea chest to get his ropes back out.
Okay. Gonna meet around the corners of the tent, carefully kind of take the dagger, slip it into the robe, and go back out the way I came.
Yep, roll
Quickly
stealth.
and quietly as I can. I think I've got a +5 in it. Do I really fucking know if I pull this off? Yes, +5.
Should be fine, but just in case something goes wrong.
Yeah.
Just in case. Cheers.
Roll d20 +5. Come on, 25.
Yep.
Natural 20.
You grab the dagger and leave, and as soon as you leave, you hear a strange voice come from the friar's mouth. Go, what is that? What do you mean something's wrong? What do you mean something's wrong? Rah. And you notice, what? Where is my dagger? And he immediately bolts out of the tent, looking around quite frantically. He hasn't
Are there
noticed
any
you because
trees?
I assume that you've managed to stealthify yourself when you're coming back out again. But
Yeah.
he's like ripped open the side of his tent basically and got outside. He's staring around quite rapidly.
Is there any trees nearby?
There's a couple outside the tent.
Cool. Can I just spring upwards into a tree?
Spring over to a tree and just watch the carnage unfold. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Cool.
So
I have successfully
that-
avoided consequences for my actions.
Little do we know that is the most important thing she's done right now. She took away the big bad's weapon.
so
I like my daggers.
So
Stabby, stabby.
he comes out. He looks around again. He sees Fergus and Wraith standing over by the previous tent, and he just goes. He narrows his eyes like, could it be them? No, they're so far away. It can't be them. And he storms towards the nearest tent to him, which is a guard tent, and he starts going, What has happened? Who got into my tent? Who took my dagger? And there's a bunch of guards kind of going, and he seems to start. You've not heard him sort of break from his very quiet, calm tone, but now he's properly screaming, and you see him grab something from and just start smacking the guards around the heads with this blunt object, and he goes, "Find my dagger! Find it now! We cannot carry on like this! Find my dagger now! Get out there, you buffoons!"
Marcus like leans into Victor and goes like, I know what he's going through right. I want to bash everyone's brains in too.
Perhaps
just
the
like-
party should start to pack up and leave as they see the chaos unfold, and I can kind of quietly slip into the carriage.
Well, I was thinking that as that all was happening and the friar had left the tent, that Wraith would take the opportunity to quickly sneak into the tent and have a look around to see if is this the only, well, what I guess it's a body now in there, and if it is the only body, then he wants to quickly check the wound to see if there's anything happening off the back of it being possibly, I don't know, magically affected by that blade with the runes.
Sure.
If you want to solve this issue, I would recommend a large dosage of bashing.
Fire is more my thing, or ice. Not really one for the bashing. And he sort of
just
holds up his
saying.
skinny arms.
If the friar is being a little evil, you know how people get, I could just smash that big crystal in the middle of the tent.
I'll be honest with you, that doesn't sound like the worst idea to me. Perhaps you should get to it. More distractions wouldn't hurt.
No, I might just. And then he just walks up to the side of the large tent while everybody is panicking around.
All right.
Okay. You can finish your turn with the body first.
Yeah. All right. So Wraith looks in. He sees that the body is still lying there. He goes in and has a look at it. Already the body looked quite withered, but the slash wound on the throat, everything both directions is just slowly just almost decaying really quickly as it's going along, and there's a sort of almost pitch black corruption just absorbing every single inch of the body, just slowly going upwards from this slash.
Is it reasonable to say that this is the familiar black corruption of Darkspawn Taint?
It seems to work faster than Darkspawn Taint.
Okay.
But it's very much the kind of black goo you associate with Darkspawn Taint, but it seems to be more rabid and more affecting a lot faster, even though the person is dead.
Wraith takes care not to touch it then. Is that the only body in the tent? Is there anything else in there?
That's the only body in the tent. There are a couple of medical beds just lying around, and there is there's one person that seems to sort of be absently like cleaning up the room, but they're not really paying attention.
Okay. Seeing that this looks like a bad thing happening, Wraith is going to touch the tip of his staff to the bed and cast Fireball just to set things off, and quickly step back out of the room, shout "Fire!" as he goes.
All right, do me a roll with fire. Let's see how this goes. How much fire do you create?
No?
It's do flash roll, and then the little box will pop up above, like you're tagging someone in Discord.
Okay.
Just click that, and then you'll have a thing to put D20 plus 5. It's because they removed all the bot commands and stuff from Discord. There we go.
19.
That's a lot of fire.
Yep. So there is a lot of fire. That entire tent is now ablaze, and you watch as the person who was absolutely paying attention runs out the back of the tent, screaming, "Fire! Fire!"
Wraith starts off towards the cart.
Okay, so back to me then.
Yep.
Unless does the bard do anything during this?
You want to do anything, Tom?
You're
You're
muted.
muted, Tom.
God damn it. I'm just rolling with it at the moment. I'm gonna just go for the cart and get it ready.
Okay. So it's back to Fergus then.
Okay, so Fergus, he knows where the crystal is at this point, obviously. He's
Yes.
been in here in out enough. And he knows it's at the top of the tent, right?
Yep. The crystal is about, let's say, the crystal is about 15 feet in the air. And
Okay.
it's hanging from the center point of the tent.
So Fergus, ruffles his feathers and proceeds to use magic to shapeshift into a giraffe.
Fuck yeah.
All right.
Is there much difference between your normal look and a giraffe?
Well, a giraffe is taller, and it's got a longer neck.
And it's
I know.
it just when he shapeshifts a slightly more feathery giraffe, but yeah.
Just about. Basically, he wants to get enough height to go hang over the tent of his head, then unshapeshift, and bring the hammer down on top. That's the plan.
All right. Let me just do a quick roll to see something. As you shapeshift into a giraffe, the singing stops, and everyone looks over at this slightly feathery giraffe that's just spawned in the middle of the room. And it's sort of it's like a whole room full of confusion of just everyone just looking at you confused.
He just struts forwards, and just with a bored giraffe face, looks around. And by the way, he still has the fabricant eyes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that and the feathers are not changing. Yeah.
Really eyes. And just he extends his neck upwards to the crystal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so and then he unshapeshifts, which I imagine his head grew up from as he shapeshifted, and now his body withdraws up from the ground into his normal fabricant form.
All right. Yep. So if you just do me a magic roll.
Okay.
Just see how if it works exactly as you intend.
I hope. Oh, sorry, I'm used to another roller.
Yeah, that's what it used to be before they changed all the controls.
20 plus. Okay. That's a +2, or is it a +6? Because
It'll be whatever your magic score is. So that'll be
I have 3 in the magic score.
3. Okay. 3.
So, sorry, intelligence is just a +2 though.
Yeah, it'll be your intelligence.
Okay.
Yep.
14.
Still
That's
fine.
all right.
Yep. You change into a giraffe. You sort of hobble forward. Everyone stops to stare and goes like, "The fuck?" And then, in the most cartoonish way possible, the giraffe kind of shunks back inwards, spins in a sort of sonic-like ball of feathers, expanding out slowly, and then this gigantic feathery form is just floating in midair for a split second, wielding this massive hammer.
It just like clenches the hammer in hand. And, oh god, I need to think of a line for this. This is the perfect time for a line, but I'm not good at spontaneity. Okay, let me think. I'm like, rest in all the pieces! And like, cracks the mallet on the side of it.
As I said, the ball of feathers keeps spinning. It sort of stops for a second when it's just this outline of this gigantic feathery bird with the full arc of the hammer behind, and the hammer comes straight down. There's an almighty smash. There's a blinding white light. The ground begins to shake.
Okay, he just like, he lands face first on the ground.
Alright. There's immediately a lot of people that were in the crowd that were really withered have now returned to their original form. Some of them look substantially younger than they did, whereas the others just... and all around there's a sort of strange feeling of more people present than you can actually see. But the ground is now shaking violently. And so you see a very fervent friar just appear from the side saying, "You have ruined everything! What are you doing?"
Can't hear you.
And then he just like calls out of the crowd, "Fly! Fly! Let them come!" And then he just like springs through the tent, just like runs through it.
Yep. Alright, so as everyone is kind of getting back to this tent, and this gigantic bird fabricant is like running towards the tent.
I ain't going towards the tent. There's
Sorry,
one
running towards the
person who ain't
cart.
going
Sorry,
towards
my
the
bad.
tent.
Running towards the cart. So is there anything else any of you are doing, or are you just trying to get this cart to like get the fuck out as quickly as possible?
Yeah, we're getting out of here.
Yeah,
I like to think I have stealthed over to the cart, like just quietly slipped in. You haven't even noticed that I've gotten in there until you realise there's something fuzzy brushing up against your leg, you know?
Wraith is stumbling and shuffling up towards the car as quick as he can. Get it ready, get the cart ready, it's happened again, quickly, we've got to go!
I just love that. It's happened again!
It was amazing. I should be satisfied with my smashing quota for the rest of the week.
So Fergus runs up and jumps on the back of the cart. You crack the whip and try and get the horses to go. They charge out of this burning base as the ground is almost splitting in two and the river begins to fall into the cracks with a loud sizzle.
It's a good thing I can fly. Oh wait, I can't fly.
So you rejoin the road and make hell for leather as fast as you can. And as you begin to, after about a good hour or so of hard riding, you begin to slow down because the horse, despite being skeletal, is quite exhausted. And Wraith notices Juniper just drawing out this strange golden rune dagger.
Oh, Juniper, you got the knife. Be careful with that thing. It seems to hold some sort of corruption about it. Don't prick yourself with it.
I'm gonna wave it around a little bit and be like, "What's wrong with it?
Oh,
Stabbies!"
oh, careful, careful. You don't want to get any of us with that. Who knows what might happen? I burnt a body back there that seemed to be rapidly turning. I don't know what was happening to it, but it was corrupted, that's all I know.
Just leans in and bites the blades.
All right. How?
Can I quickly snatch it back? Because no one touching my dagger without permission.
Fun.
Yeah.
I will happily roll dex against you.
Let's roll the dex for how fast you are compared to him.
Do you want to?
Yeah, let's go.
Fuck it.
Fuck it. This will probably be the death of my character, but fuck it.
It's had an amazing legacy if this is the end.
23.
I'm not gonna beat that unless I crit. Yeah,
Damn.
you managed to like chuck it out of my hands,
Yeah.
out of the range of my jaws.
He leans down to bite it. Juniper pulls it away. There is a slight tearing sound, and Fergus stands up and sort of looks at Juniper, kind of sad that he didn't get to keep the blade. There's a small tear at the side of Fergus's mouth that just seems to be. There's no blood or anything. It's just a bit of stuffing coming out of it, but it does have an obvious tear. So about maybe 2-3 inches down the side. It doesn't seem to have any corruption or anything, but he's just got this very noticeable tear at the side of his beak now.
Within the cart, as best as possible, Wraith is going to try and shuffle away to one of the corners and hold his staff out in front of him. What are you doing, Fergus? I'm trying to warn you.
Juniper is going to look over at Wraith, stare very intently, walk over, and hand him the dagger sheath first so he can take a look.
Okay.
Oh, thank you. And he quickly snatches it up and tries to observe the runes as like up close as best he can. Can he read anything into this? Like,
They're very ancient runes. If you have, I think it's lore and literacy, you can roll.
I do. I have both of those.
I do not. Oh, I have literacy, but I
Literacy,
don't
so,
think it's going to be very good.
but it's mostly teaching kids how to read, so it's like
17.
You don't recognize all the symbols, but you recognize some of them. You recognize the term bound by the fade, you recognize the term sacrifice, and you recognize the term empowerment.
Oh, this blade seems to mark people for sacrifice. Fergus, how you feel?
he like smacks his beak a few times and goes like, I can't complain.
Oh. Well,
He like punches your face.
oh.
Sorry, it happens sometimes. It's basically a reflex.
Well, I'm glad you're feeling all right, but please stop hitting me.
The gimme hands are back in action, by the way. You got your look, that's it. I want it back.
Confused and, I don't know, at a loss at the situation, he passes it back.
Look after it carefully. Don't, as I said, don't get yourself with it.
It goes into one of the many pockets that I have. There's a loud jingling sound as I open the cloak to put it away.
If I
The sound of many daggers clicking together.
Well, if I'm meant to be marked for sacrifice, honestly, I feel appreciated.
Well,
All right.
that's a very positive outlook for what might be a very terrible situation. I don't mean to alarm you. I keep saying that. Today's
Don't
been
worry.
very alarming.
Don't worry. If anyone comes after me, I'll just eat their teeth.
Better them than me.
Well, as the cart continues to race along the road to the next location, we will pick that up again next time.
Oh, that was great.
So yes, does anyone have anything else they wish to do before we stop?
I think as we continue to travel, Wraith will now be just warily eyeing Fergus for the entire time for a variety of reasons at this point.
Every time Rafe looks back at Fargus is staring right back at him.
They tries to
Jennifer.
avoid glancing, like it's spurious glances off to the side and then trying not to lock eyes.
Juniper is going to curl up and fall asleep on top of Ruth's face.
I'm sure
Are you-
Ruth will
are you an
entirely
actual-
understand and be fine with that.
Oh my god.
With sad cats, they know exactly what they're in for. But yes, that will do us for Dark Tide this week. Thank you everyone for watching along today. I know these episodes of Dark Tide are relatively short in comparison to a lot of other D&D streams, but we seem to get a lot of weird shit done in it, so I'm all happy with that. But yes, just quickly run through our next streams. Oh, and I'll do, before I forget to do the affiliate, if you'd like to get some stuff for your own gaming, we have affiliate links with both dndice.co.uk and Gemhammer Gaming, which is gemhammer.com. If you put the code PenanceRPG in, you get 10% off D&Dice and 20% off Gemhammer. D&Dice do things like plastic, I think it's plastic and metal and some really, really, really pretty dice. You get 10% off with the thing. Gemhammer do a lot of things to augment your game, like the deck of many things, just random loot decks and stuff like that. They also do. I should really research this properly. Like, I've got a couple of decks myself. We have done series before. We have done series before. But we ran with a lot of the things from it. If you look at Dark, which is an episode we did a while ago, it was one shot. We used the Gemhammer deck of many things, I think it was, or deck of wonder. And deck of wonder after Dark. We used the thing on both of them. But yes, those kind of things can make you get just a massive little difference, just for a little bit of fun for your players. But yeah, if you would like to try them as well, go to gemhammer.com, put PenanceRPG in, you get 20% off. Helps us out as well. But apart from that, our next streams will be tomorrow night. I am playing through the Haunted PS1 disc on stream, so that will be that'll be interesting. Playing basically through a bunch of demos for Halloween itself. It should be fun. Tuesday will be myself and Mr. Tom, and Zeph as well, and possibly a Meow playing Bar Drama. Then some indie horror. Wednesday is start of Rat Run, our second RPG weekly series, at least the ones I'm doing. When Mr. Greg's doing his for last, and there'll be 3 RPGs a week, so you get all the craziness. But yeah, Wednesday should be the start of Rat Run, as long as nothing goes wrong. Thursday will be more indie horror. Friday will be more Satisfactory, and then hopefully some ghost watching afterwards with AJ and Cassie. Then next Sunday will be more Dark Tide, and then the Monday after that, I think, is back to me and Bell Ray playing every 2 weeks doing Neo 2. So me and Bell Ray playing Neo 2 will be Mondays from next Monday onwards, every second week. Alternate with Velastin. So yes, that's our stream. Thank you very much, folks, for watching along today. We are going to go and... yeah, let's go see Bunny. We're going to go see the Crazy Cosmic Bunny, who is an awesome dude. He is a very chill streamer. He does a lot of cool little games. He's currently playing Cult of the Lamb. So yeah, we'll go right over to him. But yes, thank you everyone for watching along today. I wish you all the best of rest of the weekends, and we shall see you all soon. Good night.
Bye.
Alright.